Hey guys, it's Matt and it's also Minoke and we're back and we're gonna show you just in case you didn't see, the Gimmick Puppet deck. This is Michael's most favorite deck. So yeah, he's gonna do an how to play on Gimmick Puppets. Take it away, Michael.
Alright guys, so it's Minoke again here, and bringing you my Gimmick Puppet deck. This is my rank up Gimmick Puppet deck. This is what I often will use if I'm not using like Shadows or Violons or whatever. Other decks I haven't already reviewed. Um, so the basis behind this deck is to just chain Xyz summon into a lot of your very powerful Xyz monsters and Chaos Xyz monsters. There's a lot of different ways that you can go about this. Quite a few, I have to say. Um, so to begin with, very good opening moves, because this is very important to a lot of you. I think one of the best opening moves that I can really think of would be to open with a Destroy after your opponent might have summoned a monster or whatever, and activate his effect. And his effect is kind of weird, and it confused me for a while, because it was, you can target a Gimmick Puppet monster and destroy it. And I didn't understand why you would really want to destroy your own monster until I actually tried using Destroy. And the effect is actually quite good for an opening move, because when it gets sent to the graveyard, you get a special summon 2 Gimmick Puppets from your hand. So you can summon a Dreary Doll and a Magnet Doll, and you can just go ahead straight up and Xyz summon into, I guess, number 15 to remove whatever powerful monster your opponent summoned first turn. Some other good opening moves for just getting stuff in the graveyard would be using something like Scissor Arms to, again, or I shouldn't say again, but to get their Drury Doll in the graveyard, because the Drury Doll is very good in the graveyard, because it can just summon itself back instantly if you want to. Another good opening, again, would probably be something like Egghead. Do a similar thing with Drury Doll, and suddenly you have a level 8. A good follow-up to this, and we're going to switch into draw power now, would be Advanced Draw. Tribute any level 8 monster to draw 2 cards. And this is actually quite good, because most of your monsters are going to be level 8, so you're generally going to be able to summon a level 8 monster, so you can easily get that card draw. Trade in, for the same reason, get those level 8s in the graveyard for your Dreary Doll to use them to special summon itself. I gotta say, out of all the actual basic monsters in this deck, I think Dreary Doll is the MVP. It has 0 attack and defense, but you can special summon it by just banishing a Destroyer, maybe an Xyz monster, and you can just, as long as you can summon another level 8 monster that turn, you can basically just keep summoning Xyz monsters. Good ways to do that would be Gear Spring Spirit, because my Gimmick Puppet deck is all machines. There's other options, but I personally enjoy the Gear Spring Spirit. Other things that you can do would possibly be a Gen X Recycle if you're versing against, I don't know, a Synchro deck, because let's say they summon a BLs, you just send those 2 to the graveyard, you summon a Locomotion or Gen X, and you just steal their monster, and they cry because you just ruined their day. A lot of this deck is actually made up of spell cards. You do have trap cards as well, but the trap cards all basically serve the singular purpose of just summon back cards. So Call of the Haunted, Escape from the Dark Dimension, and Xyz Reborn. Escape from the Dark Dimension just means that I could banish a Magnet Doll and summon out a Dreary Doll, and then I would use Escape to summon it back. So that's basically all of your reviving. The other trap card that I will run in this deck is the Number Wall, just because this is an all numbers Xyz, or an all number extra deck, so that works out very well. Another good way to be summoning out cards is if you get out a Drury Doll and you use Machine Duplication, because that lets you summon another 2 Drury Dolls, and that ends up working quite well because suddenly you have another 3 monsters out on the field. You can not exceed summon, you can overlay them to summon out the big ace monster, which is number 88. There it is. So there's 3 main Xyz monsters that you're going to be wanting to use. The number 40, the number 15, and the number 88. All of these have very good rank ups, and, well, yeah, really. The main rank up that you'll be wanting to use is the rank up Magic Argent Force, just because if you special summon a lot of high-ranking Xyz monsters, you can just add it back. I didn't even really notice this when I was first looking at the deck when I made it, but in essence, Gimmick Puppets are really a lot of field control and burn because number C40 basically is a dark hole, but doesn't destroy itself, and then your opponent takes a bunch of damage, and then you get card draw from it. Number 15 allows you to directly remove certain cards and deal damage if it's a monster. That can be extremely powerful. Some other rank ups that you'll also want to use to get those out would probably be something like Quick Chaos or the recently added Admiration of the Thousands. Admiration of the Thousands is a great top deck because if you have a lot of Xyz in your graveyard, and oftentimes you will build them up, you can use them to summon out something, I guess. Also, the number 88, because I didn't go over before, this thing can be game ender because it can lock down decks. It can't be targeted by effects. It'll start to burn down your opponents. It has that nice win condition that generally isn't used too much, but it can be used where if they have less than 2,000 life points, they just instantly lose. And since this is a burn deck, it's not too hard to achieve that. Also, let's say that you've used up the C88 a bit, you've dealt a bit of damage, and you want to rank up again. I recommend using the Chaos number 9 for additional burn, and again locking it down, because anything that it battles with, it turns into a material for it, and you just use it to deal tons and tons and tons of damage. Also, cards that are good for recovery would be these 3. Machina Armored Unit makes it so if your opponent does manage to destroy one of your monsters by battle, which they can do, lets you just special summon more Gimmick Puppets. And again, it just synergizes really well with the Drury Doll. Junk Puppet, again, same way. You special summon something from the graveyard, you summon out the Drury Doll, suddenly you got another number 40 or number 15 to just remove whatever your opponent got. Puppet Ritual is also very good. Not that great for summoning out a number 40, because it means that you can't battle, but if you have a rank up magic, well, it doesn't really matter too much that you can't conduct your battle phase, because you're probably going to be dealing burn damage to your opponent anyway. Is there any other cards that really need to be mentioned? Not really. Some other monsters that I've included in my deck would be Twilight Joker, the Shadow Feeler, and the Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. Honestly, the Feeler and the Nightmare honestly probably do give me nightmares, as the Feeler looks like the Human Centipede, and Nightmare, I don't even, you can't describe it really. Anyway, I enjoy this deck. It's very powerful. Main strengths are lots of burn, lots of field control. Does suffer from very bad opening hands. It's possible that you won't get anything to summon with. It's very important that you generally will get a trade-in or the Egghead because otherwise you're not really going to be able to get monsters in your graveyard, and for this deck you kind of need to be doing that quite a bit. So overall, just a lot of burn and field control. Anyway, how about you finish us off, Matt?
Well, guys, thank you, Michael. And there's also another deck. Well, it's a deck review. There's another one of a Gimmick Puppet. If you guys want to look at that as well, there'll be an annotation for that as well at the end of the video, and there'll be a picture of this deck as well. So, guys, thank you. Thank you, Michael.
Mhm.
Like I
Look
said,
forward to next week
yes,
because we're doing hieratics because that was
yes.
also requested. Trying to learn that.
Michael's been learning learning that deck for like a whole week, and he's still trying to do it. But you know, it's an interesting deck. So yeah, guys, I hope you guys enjoyed. Write any other decks you want to see, learn how to play. We'll try to learn them. If me or Michael can't do it, I'll ask someone else. So yeah, thank you guys. See ya.
Bye.